With the drama of 7 Monster Jam Championship Series in high gear, fans filling stadiums and arenas with anticipation, and drivers pushing full throttle toward the top of each week's leaderboard, the monsters of competitive mayhem fell silent. To all who have been waiting in wonder, it is now time to once again rise to our feet and celebrate the drivers that rose above all others, taking claim of their tour's Series Championship trophy. This is Monster Jam. After 10 weeks, Todd LeDuc, driver of Monster Energy, commanded the top of the leaderboard, and with it, the title of Red Series champion. The 2020 season spelt redemption for LeDuc, who had to settle for 4th place in 2019's World Finals freestyle event. Finishing off at the podium at World Finals a year ago was hugely disappointing for him. Channeling this disappointment, he came into 2020 more determined than ever to win an automatic bid to this year's World Finals event by winning the Red Series championship. Bryce Kenny sat down with the likable family man and fierce competitor, Todd LeDuc, to discuss his one-way road to victory.
Right off the bat, there was a very tight race at the beginning of the season between you and Adam Anderson, driver of Gravedigger. Did that rivalry motivate you? Did it make you feel any more pressure? What was your ultimate goal in knowing that that you didn't want it to come down to the wire between you and someone like Adam Anderson?
No. You know, when I finally saw the tour, lineups, and I saw you, Cole Vennard, Adam, I cringed a little bit. You know, a lot of very good, consistent drivers. And I got a little nervous, but I had to put that behind me and turn on that confident Todd, and Adam was at my throat. There was no doubt about it. But where we shine is Anaheim's, Texas. That's my house. You know what I mean? And then when we switched up to Florida and Atlanta and Georgia, that's more Adam's area of the Gravedigger. So I knew I had to have a points cushion going into those events. Then from there, I could switch it back up and start traveling back to my shows, and my stadiums and stuff. And, Adam, to a certain point, had to throw down. He had to, because him and I, we were within 2 points, back and forth. And all of a sudden, I got a lead. And then that's when he started going into panic mode of, I got to catch up, where I was just kept it consistent. And I just was able to break away, and just everything just seemed like it lined up this year. And there was a lot of pressure, but I thrive on it. It's almost like a fuel.
But you were so consistent all year long. You had 3 overall championships in 3 straight weeks. Talk about that streak. What do you attribute that type of success and consistency to?
You know what? It was just all of a sudden like a wave. Once you get on that good luck wave and you have all that confidence behind you, you just start paddling, and then you ride as long as you can. And we were just on fire. We were just trying to be consistent and separate myself from a few of the other competitors, where I could just go out, have fun, and drive like normal and not overthink it. And just those 3 overalls in a row were just unbelievable. And I'm at every event to win. There is no doubt about it. People are there like, oh, how do you think you're going to do? I'm here to win.
The Arena Series Championship was home to the Monster Jam 2019 World Finals freestyle champion, driver of Scooby-Doo, Lindsay Reed. Looking to ride her World Finals victory into the 2020 season, she set her sights on claiming her first series championship. Standing in the way of Reed's ambitions was 21-year Monster Jam veteran Randy Brown of Team Gravedigger. What quickly emerged was a rivalry that had Reed and Brown trading wins and swapping the top spot for the series point lead throughout the season. Brown, the 2017 Arena champion, waited until Wichita, Kansas to solidify his lead over Reed by winning 2 of the 3 overall event championships that weekend. For the season champion, his competitive nature and revved-up rivalries with up-and-coming drivers like Reed keeps him in the driver's seat, and 2020 was no different.
Do you still get those butterflies in your stomach after you win, or has some of that magic kind of fallen off a little bit over the years?
Oh, every time I get in the truck, I still get butterflies. I'd be lying if I said I didn't. There's always that little grumbling in my stomach that just wonders what's going to happen, But But once the truck fires up and I'm out there, I feel like I'm in my element. I love what I do, so there's no pressure once I'm out there. And every championship now, from this point on, it just seems like it's getting harder and harder. So therefore, I think I appreciate it a lot more because of the competition level keeps going higher and higher with Monster Jam, that you can't take anything for granted. You never know who's going to win a championship. You never know who's going to win a overall weekend. To bring another one home, it means the world to me. It really does.
With 3 times the focus, determination, and desire, the Monster Jam Triple Threat Series forces driver athletes to be in top physical and mental shape to withstand and triumph over their fellow competitors. The Triple Threat Series features drivers competing not only in 12,000-pound Monster Jam trucks, but also in speedsters and on ATVs in 6 individual scoring events. So for drivers on the Triple Threat Series, it not only comes down to diversified talent, but also focused strategy. That was the name of the game for Team Gravedigger driver-athlete Brandon Vincent, who realized he would have to work both smarter and harder to become Triple Threat West Series champion. For Vincent, winning would mean overcoming a 32-point deficit while going head-to-head with 2-time Triple Threat Series champion Tristan England, driver of Earthshaker.
It's a really competitive group, and I knew that going into the season, so I was on my A game going into a triple threat season. As you know, you performed on one, and it's a lot of work. If you're not consistent with it all the time, it takes a minute to get back in that groove and get back in the groove with driving. And we kind of got back in the groove, and Tristan England with Earthshaker was my biggest competition on that tour. He had won 2 prior Triple Threat Series championships, and I wanted to knock him off and take that from him.
As Vincent suggests, Tristan England was a force to be reckoned with, winning the Triple Threat Series West in 2018 and the Triple Threat Series East in 2019. And in 2020, England got out to a fast start, dominating the Great Clips Skills Challenge throughout the season, taking home 23 victories and winning 10 overall event championships, while Vincent struggled with truck issues. But through teamwork and tenacity, Team Gravedigger would prevail over England. When your father is a 12-time Monster Jam World Finals champion, there has to be an extreme amount of internal pressure to win. But for Colton Eichelberger, his legendary family pedigree in the world of Monster Jam is a pressure he has proven he can withstand. Very few drivers could dominate a series the way Eichelberger did this season. When the dust and dirt had settled, he held a lead in excess of 90 points over his nearest rival. With consistent wins in racing, ATVs, and speedsters, Eichelberger proved himself to be a formidable opponent and competitive force for years to come. Bryce Kenny was able to catch up with the 2020 Triple Threat Series Central Champion to discuss the season that was and the elusive series championship that is now his.
One of the things that has always been missing from your mantle, though, has been a tour championship like this. And I know that is a huge monkey to get off of your back. Dude, I'm so happy that you finally got that tour championship.
Thank you. Absolutely. That win, that was awesome. But I didn't want the year to end like it did. It's out of our control. It's out of our hands. But we came out on top. We ended the year with 93 points ahead, I believe. And I honestly wasn't comfortable. But it's been a long time coming for me because, I've gotten second every year. And I forget which year it was exactly. But I was in first place, and I actually had to go fill in for my dad on a stadium tour in his Monster Jam truck because he had gotten hurt. And I was ahead by 100 and some points when I left my tour. And that was my year. It was a great opportunity for me to be able to go out, fill in a stadium tour. It's the first stadium tour I got to do. And, the first show out, won the overall event championship, ended up winning more, events later in the year, finishing out for him. And almost, I was really close to honestly passing Lindsey Wink, who was in the lead that year. So that was a great opportunity, but it really hurt inside too that I couldn't get that, the Tour Series championship. But and then getting second place the last couple of years, it's just been eating me. And this year was the one. I told myself this was the one. I'm going to win this tour this year. Justin Sipes, Mark List. They're some of the top competitors in Monster Jam that I knew I had my hands full, especially coming out week one, Nashville, Tennessee. I got 1 point from quads because I had blown my quad up twice. And I thought, wow, if this is any indication of how this year's going, this is not good. And I ended up leaving Nashville like 20 points behind. This isn't good. You know, it's not good. But week 2, everything, you know, the Monster Jam crew, they had everything tight and right. Everything went as planned. We got the points lead back. And after that, it's win each and every event, get as many points as we can no matter what, and put on a show for the fans. And that mentality right there, that took us to the top.
The 2020 season was cut short, but for Monster Jam Stadium Series Yellow, there was no shortage of down-to-the-wire battles. With just 1 point separating them, up-and-coming superstar Camden Murphy and veteran Charlie Polkin fired it up in a heated exchange for victory all season long. Ultimately, it was the hip-wiggling veteran, Polkin, who had just enough tricks up his sleeve this season to not only hold off Murphy, but also the 12-time World Finals champion, the professor himself, Tom Metz, to claim the coveted Stadium Series Yellow Championship. The Great Clips Mohawk Warrior, Bryce Kenny, caught up with Charlie Polkin at his home to discuss his nerve-wracking and nail-biting season victory.
When you saw that lineup come out and you saw the competition you were going to be going up against, did you kind of get some butterflies? What was your initial reaction when you saw this lineup for this?
With the caliber of talent, it's like I'm always like on the edge. Like, are you kidding? It's like Brianna Mahone is one. You know, she's so consistent. She's out there every time. It's like you cannot give her any slack whatsoever. Scott Buteau, he's right there. Cody Saucier, are you kidding me? That kid, I love that kid. Yeah, Tom, the professor. It's hard to beat Tom anywhere, anytime. But boy, Camden Murphy, he is just. I have a love-hate relationship with that kid, and he calls me dad sometimes, and we go back and forth, we banter ourselves, you know, back and forth off the field. Boy, he just, I'm just out to get him now.
Tyler Menninga buried the competition before running away with the Triple Threat Series East Championship. All season long, Menninga's performance was a Monster Jam human highlight reel. The tricks and stunts he successfully performed in his Gravedigger truck pushed it to its limits each and every event. Of particular fascination, freestyle events is what glued fans in droves to live event screens, watching his original superglue replays in arenas all over the East Coast this season. Menninga's domination over the Triple Threat Series East competition also came from unbelievable saves he was able to muster all season.
What was kind of your bread and butter this season on the East Series?
You know, I would say definitely for freestyle, you know, two-wheel skills is a lot of fun. We go out there and try and do our best trick. They took one hit away from us, so now instead of 3 hits, we only get 2. So I didn't like that as much. I like to go out and have fun, and if I mess up on one, at least have 2 more chances. So, but now freestyle for arenas, they added a mini flip ramp for us, so that was fun. I would always try and get the truck to land a certain way. I don't want everyone to land wrong, you know. I don't want to be the normal guy out on the track. So I want to land all crooked and have to do a save after or something like that, you know. So just had a lot of fun with that all year. And even if the backflip ramp wasn't there for me, I still love freestyle more than anything.
Neil Elliott is no stranger to tough competition. And that's exactly what he was up against this season. With Ryan Anderson in Son of a Digger and Morgan Kane in Gravedigger. As to be expected, both drivers gave Elliott a run for his money. But it was the cool-headed and insanely skillful Max D driver who came out on top, thanks to his week-in and week-out consistency in the Great Clip Skills Challenge. Victory now in the books, the Stadium Series Green Championship completed yet another chapter in the epic Gravedigger versus Max D rivalry.
You were the tour champion of Stadium Series Green. You pulled off a back-to-back championship. I know that means a lot to you. I know it means a lot to the whole Max D team. How's it feel?
Man, well, I appreciate it. You know, it feels great, you know, to pull off back-to-back and just win the series. You know, I was out front and I fell behind and I got back out front again. So, you know, and I planned on staying there anyways. So,
yeah, absolutely. Well, you won the Great Clip Skills Challenge in 7 of the first 8 cities you competed in this year. Obviously, to say that you were dominating in that competition would be an understatement. I noticed too, about halfway through the year, instead of drivers that said, hey, I'm just going to go do other things, you actually had more drivers beginning to try to match the nose wheelie and try to beat you with that move. did you start to get nervous at any point saying, oh gosh, if I'm not the first one out there to do the nose wheelie, maybe I won't get as high of a score? Or what psychology started to change with you when you started to see more drivers do your signature move almost?
You know, my strategy didn't change at all. You know, I mean, if you got something that you can do well, you know, you're gonna stay with it. I'm not gonna go out there and try something different. You know, and we've talked about this in interviews in the past about my Max D truck does not work like all these other Monster Jam trucks do. You know, with the coil springs and those sway bars. So like bicycles and stuff like that they're virtually impossible. It gets up on two wheels, and as soon as you counter steer a little bit, it's back on the ground. So
yeah.
This chassis was new 2 years ago, I believe, and when Tom and all the Monster Jam mechanics up there built this chassis, they changed a lot of stuff on it from the previous chassis that I had. And if I would have had my choice when I first drove it, I would have wanted to drive my 8 or 9 year old chassis that I had before in freestyle and race the new one. Because it's an awesome race truck, and it's an awesome freestyle truck too, because it will take one heck of a beating, but like we just talked about, it's so hard to get it bent out of shape and get that weird rebound where my old chassis, all I had to do is jump it and save it, because it was going to rebound and do something weird. It was guaranteed. And this one here, like, you know, I had to change my driving style in freestyle because it seemed like the crookeder you jumped it and the more crooked that it landed, the better it landed. So it was, you know, I almost had to jump it and get it to land flat so it hits on all four shocks and then hope it rebounds weird. But the downfall to that is that all four tire flat landing hurts a whole lot worse than the stuff on the two tires does.
Hey, Motorsports fans, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit subscribe before you go for all the latest news and highlights across motorsports.